our Center for Spiritual Living, Leesburg. The theme for this year is living out loud. And we are in July, so we are halfway through the year and we are living out loud. Our focus for this month is speaking truth to circumstances. And the title of our talk today is The Wise Warrior. It'll be given by our wonderful Charlene Banks. We are so glad that you took time out of your day to join us today. We're going to invite you to add in our chat or in our comments section any joys or celebrations or concerns that you would like us to include later in our service when we do our spiritual mind treatment, which is a form of affirmative prayer. So with all that being said, it's time to officially kick off our service with our welcoming video. Please join us as we create our sacred space. We set our intentions of deepening into our awareness and practice of our 5 pillars of spiritual living by lighting this candle in our virtual world. Our first pillar is sacred study, represented by the divine quality of truth. We use this pillar to recognize the importance of an open mind and the power of our minds. The second pillar is affirmative prayer, represented by the divine quality power. This pillar honors the power of prayer in our daily lives. Our third pillar is meditation and the divine quality of peace. This pillar reminds us of the importance of meditation and the peace we feel when we quiet our minds. The fourth pillar is circulation and the divine quality of life. We know that the great law of circulation works in our lives. As we give, so shall we receive. And the fifth pillar is sacred service and the divine quality of love. This pillar affirms our call to be a service to our world as we see through the eyes of love. Let us close our eyes as we bless this sacred space and our time together. As we weave each of these pillars of spiritual living into our service today, may they deepen our own spiritual practices of study, prayer, meditation, circulation, and service, expanding our minds and our hearts to the 5 divine qualities of truth, power, peace, life, and love. We also bless everyone who made our service possible today and everyone in attendance. May the energy of love that is generated here bless everyone abundantly, and so it is. And so it is. All right, now it's time for our meditation. And I chose one today that I call the I Am meditation. And as I begin the meditation, I'm going to say some phrases, and you're welcome to take some time to repeat after me, focusing on the key words, or just contemplate the key words in the statements and just kind of take them in and embrace them. So here we go. Begin by taking in a big breath, inhale. Feels so good. Hold it and release. Take another, and as you're inhaling, holding and exhaling, just relax your body and settle into this wonderful moment of meditation. I always enjoy this because meditation for me is like putting a pause, hitting that pause button on my life. Just taking time to be still, relaxed. Thoughts of this I Am meditation. So for the first statement, I want you to think about these words. I am abundant. I am abundant. I am abundantly blessed with all the things that bring me joy. I am abundant. As you think about that, think of all the abundance in the world. You see the leaves on the screen, all the leaves, all the blades, grains of sand, flowers, birds, stars in the sky. We are surrounded by abundance within as well as around us. I am abundant, and I am blessed all. The next one. I am worthy. I am worthy of love. I am worthy of love, and I am full of love for others. I am worthy of love. And think about all the people in your life, friends, relatives, co-workers, neighbors, all the people in your life, you, and also think of how you are full of love for others. The law of circulation, we give love and we receive. I am worthy of love. I am full of love. I am a powerful force for good in the world. I am a powerful force of good in the world. Not just in your home, in your community, in the world. When we think positive thoughts, when we send out that positive energy, it's like ripples on a pond. It just goes on and on and on. We don't just make our lives better, we improve the life of others. I am a powerful force of good in the world. The next statement kind of piggybacks on that. I am beautiful and perfect and whole, and I radiate with a life from within. I am beautiful and perfect and whole, and I radiate from a light. We know that when we have that positive energy, when we think those good thoughts, when we just send out those powerful messages to the world, we beam, right? Our aura glows a bit brighter. I am beautiful. I am perfect. I am whole. And I radiate positive light from within. Next one. I am embracing new behaviors that serve my mind, my body, and my spirit. Is that what we talked about in the opening video, right? Study and meditation and prayer, service, love. I am embracing new behaviors that serve my mind, body, and my spirit. And maybe as you say this, you can think of one certain behavior that you're focusing on right now. Or maybe you just take in everything, right? Like I said with that opening video. Even just doing this, maybe this is a new. I am embracing new behaviors that serve my mind, my body, and my spirit. And one last one. If we're taking in new, we got to release some things, right? I am releasing old behavior, which no longer serve me. I am letting go. I am releasing, sending them off along the way. They no longer serve me. I am releasing old behaviors which no longer serve my mind, my body, my spirit. And let's just go back to that one. I am a powerful force of good. I am a powerful source of good. All right, because we have some wonderful music waiting for us and a thrilling message from Charlene. Just wiggle, shake your shoulders, open your eyes, come back to us. Thank you for joining me on that meditation. And now it's time for Leah.
Leah, can you unmute, please, darling? Thank you.
I said so many good things.
I know, right?
I just, once again, this is a very simple chant. And once it becomes familiar, please feel free to sing along. Close your eyes and consider it perhaps a continuation of the meditation. All we need is here. All we need is here. All you need is here. All you need is here. All I need is here. All I need is here. All you need is here. All you need is here. All we 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 need is here.
Wow. That was sublime. You just transported me to some other place. That was amazing. And that slow in the background, that I kept thinking, oh, just the whole time. Okay, so I got to get it together because now it's my turn. Whew. Thank you, Leah. And thank you, Tamara. What a beautiful meditation. It just was really grounding and so well needed at this time, because what Tamara was helping us remember was what I am, the truth about I am. And part of what I'm going to talk to you about today becomes embracing others as also being that quality, also being part of the divine. And it can be tough because people show up and situations show up, and it's hard to see the God in them. You know, you're just focusing on that thing that's just driving you crazy. Maybe the fact that they're yelling in your face and actually stepping on your toes. And it's like, okay, sure, there's God in that person. It gets tough. And so that's what we're talking about today. It's all about the wise warrior, that even in those times of strife, external conditions that may pull you out of that space that we so eloquently went into this morning, there'll be situations that come up that challenge us. And how are we going to be? Who are we going to be in those difficult moments? It's a good question, isn't it? I mean, how many of us have been through pain? If you're here, you've been in pain. You've been through some pain. But what we want to remember is that we don't seek out the pain, but as peaceful warriors, as wise warriors, if the pain does come, then we use that pain. We stand on top of that. We allow it to help us. We use whatever energy is in front of us in this moment, and we help guide the next step. We are co-creating our entire lives with spirit. Everything we do in each moment, we make choices and we move toward that thing. A lot of times we don't know we're making choices. How many times have we just been in reaction mode? Reaction mode is when something outside triggers us, and then we just have a habitual reaction. You see this in interplay between relationships with people. One will say something and it'll trigger the other person, and so they react. That reaction automatically, of course, knocks that original person off of their center, and now we're off to the races. Who can insult the most? Who can hurt the most? And afterwards, when we come back to ourselves, now we have some repair. Now we have some fixing to do. And as a parent, if you are a parent, or if you've ever seen a parent, been around a parent, have you had a parent? A lot of times, parents say things out of anger or frustration that then they know they need to go fix, because we as parents don't want to inflict the same kind of hurt that was inflicted upon us. So a lot of times our knee-jerk reactions are what we saw our parents do, or what we've had happen, or we've seen happen, and we just knee-jerk and we do it again, and then we're like, I got to go in there and fix it now, don't I? And so as we grow in parenthood, we start to say, I probably shouldn't say that one. And we remember to hold our tongue. And we remember to breathe and do some of these meditations and think about some of the songs we heard today. So we're calling that, instead of reaction, we're calling that responding. We begin to learn how to respond to circumstances. And just that word, react versus respond, introduces a little bit of our own higher self. We get to introduce, what is it that I want to have happen? How am I wanting to be in this moment? That's where the real challenge is. In each moment, are we showing up the way we need to, the way we know ourselves to be? In our best scenario, are we showing up as that? Or are we allowing circumstances to let us devolve into that which we have to then go back in and fix? So this is that walk. We're walking that thing. And I was reminded when I was preparing for this talk about a book I read a while back called The Way of the Peaceful Warrior, written by Dan Millman. It was very popular back in the day. And it was about a gymnast who met someone named Socrates at a gas station right when he needed to have somebody sort of help him. He was going through some difficult times. He had some pain, as we all do. And this Socrates was able to give him some philosophical approaches and some spiritual ways of seeing the world that he could then use to get through his life. This young guy, just world-class gymnast who had an accident and then couldn't do his gymnast thing and was forced to just be. And so he interacted with Socrates, and a lot of the whole thing, it was turned into a movie. And there is this one deleted scene that shows the end of the discussion between, it shows as Socrates leaves the main character, Dan. He leaves them and he drops his final little gems, and it kind of explains what the peaceful warrior is. So let me see if I could go ahead and share this. I think it'll be worth it. It helps me shape the rest of my talk. So, and besides, who doesn't love a good video every now and then? All right, I want to share. Hopefully this works because I'm trying to share in a small screen. Okay, maybe that'll work. Just hang with me for a sec. There we go. Now I'm going to press play and I'm going to just share. Hang with me while I reduce the size of the sharing. Yeah, this is in the moment. We're doing things. Gotta love it, in the moment experience, right? So squeezing this viewport down to only what we need, and then I'll press play.
It's a transformation.
What, death?
Yes, a little bit more radical in puberty, but nothing to get particularly upset about.
Jesus.
You've been immortal since before you were born, and you will be long after that body dissolves. Death isn't sad. What is sad is that most people don't live at all.
Yeah, well, I'm not feeling very immortal right now.
You're right on schedule, Dad. You're very close.
What are you talking about? I'm not close to anything. I don't understand you at all. I can't let go. I'm still afraid. This qualifier's got me totally freaked.
Of course you're scared, Dan. Life's kicked you in the teeth and your heart's been broken. Broken open. To reveal the only place you haven't looked. I call myself a warrior. A peaceful warrior. Because the battles we fight are on the inside. For peace. The battle to be happy, Dad. Be happy. All the time. Without a reason in the world. Then you can love and do what you will.
Come on. All the terrible shit that happens in the world.
That's pretty much what I wanted to share. It goes on and he leaves and gets on the bus and never sees him again. But be happy. He just tells the guy, look, things have been going wrong and you've been looking everywhere for the right answer. Doesn't that sound familiar? And we've looked everywhere except the one place where the answer is, and that's within. And that is the peaceful warrior, because there are things that we do want to have happen. And when we're happy, we never want that moment to end. It's when things are difficult and we're looking outside of ourselves for how to deal with it, while turning within and then embracing the current moment. And also, this is key, knowing that we bring our energy to it. We're not afraid to die. We're just afraid to live. And then a lot of people are walking on the planet without truly living. So that is it. When you're going through life, and I love that little scene, even though that was one of the deleted scenes, and everybody's like, why did they delete that scene? This scene encapsulates the entire like meaning of the book. It's just that it's not that romantic to tell people, stop looking outside of yourself, stop trying to achieve things, stop trying to get somewhere. Get off that ladder, get off that treadmill and sit still and just know, oh, that's not sexy. Come on, that's not sexy at all. It looks great. It's a great storyline if you could just fight someone externally, knowing that over there is your good and someone else is blocking it. So fight that person and beat them up so you can get to your good, and then you can emerge victorious. Yay. That's not bringing us happiness. No matter how many things we accumulate, we end up still wanting something to make us feel like a certain way. So what is that? What is that? Why is this urge to, it's like a Pac-Man, just, what is that? And can it be satisfied by external things? Well, spoiler alert, no, it cannot be satisfied by external things. But what we can do is this. Now, so in the book, The Way of the Peaceful Warrior, Dan Millman says, the secret of change is to focus all your energy not on fighting the old thing, but building the new thing. Now, all right, I need you to think with me about every time we've moved forward socially, social justice. Now, yes, there's a point to demonstrations and strikes. Absolutely. There's a point to all of the picketing and things. However, when we do that, we need to come at it with a mold in mind of what it is we do want. What is it that we do want? Because it has been shown, there are several books I've been reading recently that said, when we fight for justice, we can get so caught up in the energy of the fight that when what we're fighting no longer is resisting, and they turn to us and say, fine, there's your budget. What do you want to do with it? And we look around because we didn't think that far ahead. But if you think back, there are the times when it did work, there was a blueprint, there was a way forward, there was an outline of what we do want instead. And so I just want to bring that to you, whether your fight, so-called fight, is internal with just some habits you'd like to build. Maybe that's the fight that we're talking about. What can we do? Perhaps we can start to envision the life we do want and watch what we talk about. As we decide on, we vision, we sit down, we meditate, we create one of those vision boards. We begin in a mental state, our mental idea of what it is we want. And we really get detailed about that. How is it going to feel when you're exercising every day? I don't know if that's the goal, but let's just use that. How does it feel? I'm more energized. I can easily lift things. I can climb a set of stairs carrying a lot of things and not get winded. What does that feel like? And then we start looking for ways in which that can be true. We start building our idea from what we'd like to end up with. And Ernest Holmes called that the mental equivalent. We create in our minds that which we want to experience. And then what happens is that we tend toward it. We get that idea tends to attract like experiences to itself. Notice we're not saying yell at yourself every time you don't work out. because guilt always works and shame always is effective. It's not, and it's never. Guilt and shame keep us in the cycle. We do things we're guilty about, then we feel shame about it. And we feel so much shame. It's like, screw it. I'll just do another thing I'm going to feel guilty about later. How do we interrupt that? Bringing in the idea of what it is we do want. And Ernest Holmes said, what we demonstrate today, tomorrow, and the next day is not as important as the tendency to which our thought is taking. Now, hear this. The dominant attitude of your mind is what's important. He says, if every day things are a little better, a little happier, a little more harmonious, a little more health-giving and joyous, if each day we are expressing more life, we are going in the right direction. So that's where we look in the direction that we want to go. And as the guy Socrates told Dan, he says, just be happy, not ignore all the things that are troubling you, but in our minds, contemplate, spend more time on what it is we do want and appreciate what we do have, because that in itself creates the next moment. The energy that we're using to contemplate our current existence is the energy that we use to create the next moment. Mind blower. Whatever energy I'm using right now, my contemplation, in fact, let me talk to you about contemplation. Here's a quote. The Greek philosopher Plotinus, I know, I used to call him Plotinus, but turns out Plotinus said, I do not argue, I contemplate. And as I contemplate, I let fall the seeds of thought into the mirror of mind, which then becomes the mirror of matter, the matter of matter. What? He said it first. So Plotinus from way back, 500 BCE, talking about the seeds that fall onto the mirror of the mind and become matter. Thoughts become things. And so this quote, the way of the world is the unpeaceful, unwise warrior. Unpeaceful and unwise. We see it every day. Just drive down the street. What they do, they joust at every windmill that comes along. And of course, my mind is now giggling, as a dog might surprise itself. Oh, is that a tail? That's a tail. They don't know it's their tail. And so they're going around in a circle and they're playing. It's ridiculous. Just like a warrior trying to joust a windmill. I'll keep reading the quote. The wise warrior is already anchored in peace and poise. They are focused on what needs to happen without needing to fight. They recognize that all is one already. All they bring is a recentering to that oneness. One alone in consciousness with the infinite constitutes a complete majority. So that whole chunk, starting with the Greek philosopher Plotinus, comparing fighting in the world to jousting with a windmill, and then coming back to all I need to do is sit down, remember I am one with the divine, and that's a majority. All of that was put together by someone named David Robinson. He created the outline that we're using this week, and I think it's very right on point. Because the true test of a warrior is about your stance. If you're doing any martial arts, I don't know if you've done any martial arts. I've talked about this before. I did some Tai Chi in the past, and I went to a retreat, and we did something called push hands, where you get in a staggered stance and you have to anchor low with your gravity low, and you're supposed to imagine your feet growing roots into the ground such that it's connected to the core of the earth. That's what your mind's doing. And then you're opposite someone else who's in that same stance. And so you're in the staggered stance, and then you put your hands on parts of their shoulder, and you're in this back and forth trying to get the other one to fall off of their center while they're trying to get you to fall off your center. And it's supposed to be an exercise in energy exchange. And you can win if the other person tenses up. Because if they tense up, then you've got a nice solid thing that you could push over. But if they stay loose and all of their joints just flow, it looks like a dance. And while there's a lot of energy moving through each amongst the two that are pushing, each of them can stay rooted. Even though tons of energy is going back and forth, it's just exchanging. When one of them decides to stiffen up and fight, boop, they pop right over. It's amazing. And everybody was, we're in a group, a weekend a retreat, and everybody was making the analogies to life, which I guess was the point. The point is, when you're in some sort of exchange energetically with other people, don't tense up, allow. Don't judge what you're seeing, shut down a certain part of your heart and make them other, because that would be you tensing up. And it would get worse if you start hurling insults because, oh my goodness, nobody wants that. And then we become something that is not rooted. That tenseness just brings our root very shallow. And then one thing, one word, one glance astray, oh, we start taking our earrings off. It's time. Now we're lost. Now, what are we doing? We've been thrown off our center. We boop. And now it's hard to get back up. Now, think of all the consequences of getting thrown off your center. Think about the lawsuits. If you really did end up getting physical, oh my goodness, imagine all the paperwork. These are the jokes I have. Just, I don't feel like getting involved. There's too much paperwork. I don't feel like fighting them. It's too much paperwork, because I definitely would be the one that they just cart off for some discussions with the judge. So when we're in an energy exchange, we have some guidelines because we have a wonderful teaching at our fingertips. When we are confronting someone or confronted by some other, they look like they're someone else, they're in a whole nother set of skin, they're in a whole nother meat suit, and they're saying stuff to us, and we're in the middle of reacting, we get to pause. We don't have to pause, we get to pause. And we get to think about it and respond. So in his book, Yes, You Can Change the World, Aman Motwane, I hope I'm saying that name right, who also wrote the book, Creating a World That Works for All, invites us to follow a path. So the path is an invitation to how we see the world. And I'll close with this. We are invited to see the intrinsic worth of every person we encounter. Every person. This alone will shift our personal relationships. The intrinsic worth of each person. We focus not on how little time we have, but how to make the most of the time we have with every single person we're involved with. We will then focus not on what we see on the outside, what they look like, what they sound like, what they're saying to us, but on the person within. We're going to see their pain if they're coming at us from a certain energy. We'll see their pain, and we're going to see their potential as well. And we're going to trust that the divine is working through them, and they too are a peaceful warrior. We're just going to see that and know that for them. And then finally, we're going to focus on not what makes them wrong, but what makes them right. Find something in there. If they're arguing with you, find something you can agree with and say, yes, that's true. I do love my kids too. We both love our kids. Look at that. And we'll see their inner strengths, and we'll be able to have compassion for their weaknesses. So this week, when you are confronted, well, just as you move about in the world, your homework is just to look at other and see the divine, the potential in them, see the pain if they're showing it to you and it comes out as anger, and then know that these weaknesses are working together and making them strong if they choose to turn that way. And we hold that for them. You'll see how your gentle gaze replaces your evil stare. You'll see how the compassionate smile replaces the sneer. And then let's get back together and know, just compare notes next time. All right, so let's end it and just go within prayer. There is only one power, one divine mind, and it has replicated itself amongst, as in and through each and every one of us. We cannot be separate from this divine spirit, this divine mother goddess, this feminine energy, this beautiful creator that knows all, is all, and as all. It's happening right here and right now. And so we know that these attributes that we spoke earlier in this meeting today, the abundance that we are, the beauty that we are, the joy, the peace, the love that we are, is coming in through us. Even more so as we turn our attention toward it, it becomes more and more prevalent in our lives. We become the light. And so I speak my word for anyone on this planet who is in need of knowing more wholeness, more health, more love in their relationships. Whatever is happening, I speak my word that right now, the divine peaceful warrior is working. It's utilizing the pain and it's using it for energy to move toward that desired outcome, with that, whatever that may be. And I know all is well. So I simply rest in the knowingness, in the gratitude that the law works. And as I say these words, the universe says yes. And so I release my word into the law and let it be. And so it is. Amen. Ashe. And now Leah has some music.
I do indeed. This song is called Look Like You, and I will admit that it was inspired by someone with whom I was feeling a certain affinity, but that is indeed the goal, to find that commonality, that affinity. And what I appreciated was he was singing a song, and the first line of the song was, "I don't have to look like you." And then he just went off into an entirely, I don't even know anymore, because as soon as he sang that line, this song came to me. So thank you, Ezra. I don't have to look like you, I just have to look deep. I don't have to see like you to see that you're just like me. I don't have to look like you, I just have to look deep. I don't have to see like you to see that you're just like me. You're just another someone in this world, a pretty little planet, a sweet blue pearl, floating in the somewhere it's all unknown, in this great mystery we all call home. I don't have to look like you, I just have to look deep. I don't have to see like you to see that you're just like me. I don't have to look like you, I just have to look deep. I don't have to see like you to see that you're just like me. I'm just another traveler on this road, learning as we're turning, shaking off the load, growing in the darkness, driving toward the light, listen for the mystery of this fleeting life. I don't have to look like you, I just have to look deep. I don't have to see like you to see.
What's going on?
I don't have to see like you, see that you're just like me.
Is this where we get the message?
Yeah.
Experiencing
We're good. Go ahead. We're good. Go ahead, Leah. I'm sorry. That was a problem.
Were you on I don't know what just happened exactly.
It wasn't you. We had one of those spammers come in. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Well,
Oh,
thankfully it was at the end of the song.
Yes, I know, right?
wow.
You do your last bars because they can't have that. Go ahead.
You're right. I don't have to look like you. I just have to look deep. I don't have to see like you. I see that you're just like me.
Wonderful. Woo! Okay. Well, we had a wonderful, wonderful message. We had wonderful music, and we just go, we go with the flow. So now is the time to bless the donations that are shared today at CSL Leesburg. As you heard in our opening video and in my meditation, we believe in the law of circulation. So we are a tithing community. The donations, they're shared with our center plus everyone, those who give and those who receive. So your donation helps our center, our home organization, and all the organizations that support our vision of helping to create a world that works for everyone. Please look at our screen in just a moment. There it is. It's like magic. It pops up. There are so many ways that you can give, and odds are, my friends, you've already found one that works just for you. No matter how you're giving, just know that we appreciate it. When you give, it helps us do what we do and bring these messages and wonderful music each Sunday. So now it's time for our affirmation of oneness as we bless our gifts. So take however you're giving, it might be physically or it just might be mentally and emotionally, like I'm going to do, place it over your heart and repeat after me. The presence of spirit within me blesses everyone I meet, tends to heal everything I touch, brings gladness into the life of everyone I contact. Therefore, I am a blessing to myself, to humankind, and to the day in which I live. And so it is. All right. Yeah, I was expecting that. So, folks, we have pearls. We don't have any announcements today. Charlene and I both shared that we have some lunch plans today, so we're going to have to clear out fairly quickly. But we both said that we're all ready. We're set to go, so we can do a little bit of our pearls after service. We'd love to hear from you. What do you want to talk about? What resonated with you? What do you have questions about? What would you like to explore? It's always good just to meet and talk for a little bit after our service. So please join us if you can. It might be a little shorter than usual, but we still would love to hear from you. If you have to go, we're going to send you off with our blessings after we do our closing affirmation. So once again, put your hands over your heart. Think back to all the incredible things that you heard today. You are a powerful, peaceful warrior, and you are filled with abundance and love. And just give yourself a little hug and a reminder. Repeat after me. I am love.
I am
I am
love.
love.
Oh, you guys, thank you so much. Now look at someone in the room with you, someone that is not with you, but we know that we're all connected, someone that needs this message, and say, you are loved.
You are love.
I'm trying to get everybody on my screen. You are loved. Now put your hands up in the air. Join me for our love sprinkles. It's all good. It's all love.
It's all love.
It's all love. Thank you so much for joining us today. If you can, please stay. But if you can't, it's summertime. People are busy. They're doing things. Know that we send you off with our love and our blessing.